day 2, we planned on walking from Matosinhos to Vila de Conde. We estimated it to be anywhere from 12 to 15 miles. We weren't exactly sure how long the distance would be between both of our accommodations. Our day started off with breakfast at the hotel. It was pastries, yogurt, coffee, but it was a good way to get calories in so that way we had energy to start off our day. We did start a little bit later than what we would have liked to have done. We started probably anywhere from 8 to 8:30, which may not sound like a late start, but knowing that the route that we were taking today was pretty exposed to the sun, we did want to try to get out as soon as we could. Starting off, we walked through a little bit of Matosinhos, which was actually a very beautiful town, and because it was a Saturday morning, it was relatively quiet. I would say this part of the Camino was relatively well marked as we left Matosinhos, as there was a number of signs and spray painted arrows along the sidewalk and the edges of buildings, so that was pretty easy to find our way to the coast, so that way we could continue along the coastal part of the Camino. I did really enjoy this portion of the walk. Part of it was probably because of the excitement of starting another day, but I think part of it was also knowing that a majority of today's walking would be along the coast. So part of the enjoyment for me was being able to see some of the architecture and buildings that I probably wouldn't be seeing for the rest of the day. On top of that, it was a really peaceful morning. On the other side, the sun was reflecting off of the water. So being able to see that and all the boats and stuff like that, I thought it was really interesting. Coming off the bridge, we come up to this sign again, really well marked in this area. So once we come up to this sign, we'll make a left and we'll follow this street pretty much all the way to the coast. Once we reach the coast, we'll spend pretty much the rest of the day walking along the water. The only downside is that it is pretty exposed, like I said earlier, but absolutely can't beat the views. Something that was pretty cool about this stretch of the Camino was how nice everyone was, especially on this boardwalk portion. There's a lot of people who are out there doing physical activities such as running, walking, or just enjoying the beautiful day. So there was lots of bon caminos, bon dias. So everyone was extremely friendly. I'm sure that they see tons and tons of pilgrims, but it was really nice to be able to see how accommodating everyone was of all the pilgrims. along the way, you'll pass through this fishing village. As you can see, there's a ton of boats and fishing gear. There's cages. So I thought this was really interesting, especially because with Portugal being a coastal country, fishing and seafood is a big part of their culture and diet. So this was really cool to see. Once you get through this little village, you'll make a right, and at the corner there's this really cool coffee shop with tons and tons of pastries and options for food. They had really good coffee there, and obviously you can get a stamp there as well. So this was a really cool village and place to stop and get some food as well. This was probably one of my favorite views from the entire trip. Every day on the Camino, you're going to see something truly incredible, but there are very few things that can compete with Mother Nature's beauty. After finishing our walking for the day, we spent some time exploring the Roman aqueduct in Villa de Conde. The aqueduct is really impressive to see and really a feat of engineering considering they didn't have anywhere near the technology that we have in modern day society. Right next to the aqueduct, which you can see in the background, is the convent of Santa Clara. From this spot, you also have beautiful views of the city and the river that you cross the bridge to get into Villa de Conde. we wrapped up our sightseeing, we decided to head back to the hotel to try to rest and just hang out for the rest of the day. The hotel was really nice, as it was spacious, so we had plenty of room to spread out. We had our own private bathroom, and there was even a mini split to help keep the room cool. While the days weren't particularly hot, they were pretty humid, so having the mini split in the room helped suck out some of the moisture and keep the room pretty cool overall. This allowed us to get some good sleep while also remaining pretty comfortable. After settling in and washing up, my dad went down to the pizza shop a couple blocks away. He picked up some pizzas so we could sit out front and watch the sunset. Cheers, everyone.